by Play Alberta. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. And for a limited time only, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code GYB50. That's how Alberta wins.
All right, the road trip ends up 500, 7 of a possible 14 points. How do you feel about that? That'll be a topic tonight on the show. Oilers pick up a win against a depleted Florida Panthers team, but you're not going to critique that one. Tail end of a nasty road trip. They get a couple of points. They got a 6-hour flight and are coming home. Welcome to Got Your Back, post-game edition, folks. Live on X, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. We got Struds, we got Zuby. We'll have Brownie eventually. I'm Ryan Rishaug. We're looking forward to breaking this game down. It's brought to you by our title sponsor, Timberhouse Developments. Have you ever considered adding a garden suite, perhaps, or a laneway home for aging parents or loved ones? Well, over at Timberhouse, their team can design and build the perfect space for your property. With a focus on naturally inspired living, they create warm, thoughtful spaces that enhance the lives of your loved ones and provide an oasis to help them age in place. Check it out at timberhouse.ca. I am coming at you from our Timberhouse studio out here in Sherwood Park. Discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. It is Timberhouse. As we say, good evening to Struds and Zuby. How was the Saturday, boys? Zuby, what we get up to today, buddy?
Phase one of the outdoor Christmas display.
Oh boy.
It's going to take, there's still, I think it's going to be 3 phases. I'm hoping tomorrow, Bruno's got a double shot of hockey. He's got a game, and then he's got a jamboree thing where he gets to play with some of the Rockets down at Prospera Place. So he's got 2 in the morning. Then it's going to be phase 2, finishing the lights tomorrow afternoon, and the blow-up dolls, as Struddy likes to call them, and a few other things. That'll be phase 3.
Time well spent, Zoops. Nice work.
Yes.
How does it compare to the Halloween display? Is it similar? Greater?
I think it's slightly greater than.
Okay.
More lighting, there's more lights, so we got more flashing. I actually took a picture we have like the toboggan, the local toboggan hill is very close. We walk to it, and last year I was looking through my pictures. I have a picture of our house from the toboggan hill, and it's like through the trees and stuff. It's like lit up like a beacon that you can see it. It's very Griswold.
Setting a high standard.
I tell my wife I'm going full Griswold every year. So
yeah, it's a beaut, Clark. It's a beaut. Hey, before we get going tonight, this has been on my brain all day, and I just need to know some other opinions about this, okay? This is about happy birthday etiquette. So we're out for dinner last night. It's a 50th birthday party with some wonderful friends. There's 8 of us, and we're at a restaurant, and the little birthday surprise comes for the birthday girl. This is our lovely neighbor, Amber, married to Costco Murray of Got Your Back fame. Costco Murray, once a day, every day to Costco he goes. So out for dinner with wife Amber for birthday. And we all sing. We're singing. We're like, happy birthday to you. And we're going through it and everything, right? So this is the way it goes. It goes, happy birthday, dear. She blew out the candle. Like, we weren't done singing, and she blew the candle out. And I was shocked. I stopped singing. I was like, what's going on here? And a few people kind of stumbled through the last line, and she just just blew it out. And then that was it. So I was apoplectic at the table. I'm like, is anyone else feeling the same way I am about this? Do you not have to wait until the song is over, Struds?
It's her party. She can do what she wants to. I have no problem with it. I do find it odd. I'd like raising my eyebrows. Like, is she serious down there at the end of the table? And I hope she didn't spit on my part of the cake, but it is her party, man. It's her day to shine.
True.
Especially at 50.
I don't know, Zuby. I don't know.
I kind of love it.
Zuby?
I feel like it's actually kind of a Struddy thing to do. Is like, I reject your singing, so I'm just gonna end it now by blowing out the candles.
If I blow this out, will you all shut up? It kind of. But this is the thing. Amber is like the sweetest, most polite, wonderful person. Like, she is the last person to do anything even remotely rude, and I don't think she really even thought about it. But I was like, what just? Happy birthday. Like, just gone, flame gone, song over. We were like,
yeah. How was the Mars boy pointing out? Perhaps the singing was subpar. How was was everyone on tune?
Yeah, you know what? I thought we were pretty good. Like, it started it started on the right key. I even had I do that last little line in harmony there. You know, at the end, I had that loaded and ready to go. Nope. Amber shut it all down. But, anyways, happy birthday, Amber. There you go. Let us know what you think. Let's get to a hockey game, shall we? Let's break it down, and it's brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House during every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards, 30-plus beers on tap, 50-plus TVs at all locations. It is the place to go to watch the Canadian Brew House. Happy finish for those that were at the Canadian Brew House, crosstown tonight watching. The Oilers got a little wobbly, got it up on two wheels after having a nice healthy lead, Struds, but they buckled it down and were able to finish off a team that was pushing hard. There's a lot of reasons to kind of throw the asterisk up there, Struds, like Florida's lineup, those sorts of things, but I'm just going to give them full marks for a really solid win at the end of a road trip. You?
I love the way you started that out. I think you just nailed it. Listen, 7th road game in 12, 13 days, whatever it is. It's hard. It's hard. You're tired. You don't have Wallman. He's out. I'm guessing it's a bruised knee or whatever when he got hit by the Eiffel Tower there the other night. And so I think when you look back at this game, you're going to be like, you know what? This was a good performance. They still had a really good goalie in Ed and Bobrovsky. They had some talented players, and they're a good team. Just like, even though they're missing guys, just like the Oilers, they're a good core of a team. So this was a huge win by the Oilers to get 2 points. And I'd said they needed to get 7, I hope 8. They got 7 points. They didn't do it the easy way. They never do anything the easy way, but they got 50% of the points on this road trip. They can roll home feeling, I think decent about themselves. Not satisfied, but decent, Schauger.
Don't normally do the poll this early, but Zuby, let's rip it up there right now. Brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Score 50% off clothing and footwear, 25 to 50% off bags, and $10 a dozen on Callaway Chrome golf balls. Grab selected brand name wedges for just $99. These deals and more all month long at 5311 99th Street. Think Christmas and think DeBoer's. Zuby, we're getting to this early because I want lots of response to this. How do people feel about the road trip, buddy?
Yeah, and I haven't got it up there because I'm still working on it. I was going to come up with a fourth answer, but as a result, it's going to be a 3-answer poll, unless we spitball something right here, but it's not up yet. So the question is, how do you feel about the road trip? The options are, they went 500, I'll take it. Second choice is not good enough. Third choice is happy given the schedule. And should there be a fourth one?
I don't know.
I'm satisfied with that.
I think those three are pretty. They're all that runs the gamut. I think of them.
It does,
unless it's over the top, like simply not good enough or some hardline response.
Or the other side, no one's going to be gushing about 500. So it's
they're not. But what's crazy, guys? They had other games they could have won, or in the case of Buffalo, that's maybe a game you should win. Now I recognize where they are, but I mean they could have come with 9 points. At 9 points, you'd be like, that was a really good road trip, right? So. That's the difference in one win. They get 7. It's not great, but they are coming home not in terrible shape. So I think you kind of take it and say, okay, let's keep moving.
24 games they've played, 16 on the road. They're 5-1-2 at home, 5-8-3 out on the road so far this season. I'm just going to double check that because
they got to be the most teams, right? The team with the most road games. Like this is an insane number of road games that they've played. They played 2/3 your games on the road already. Like that is really, really incredible for the Oilers.
It's nuts. 5-1-2 on the road, 5-8-3 at home. And by the way, they got a 1-2-3-4. They got a 5-game road trip in December. That's going to be, they'll leave. So total days away will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, oh my goodness. So on the tail end of that road trip, I didn't even notice this. They finish on the 20th at the Wild. So they go from Boston to Minnesota on the 20th, and then they come home and have to play a 6 p.m. game against the or against the Golden Knights on the 21st. So it doesn't really ease up in the next couple of weeks till they get a little break here, Struds. But to have this many games on the road, as you say, and a pretty good record at home, you know, it's been a struggle. It's been up and down. There's been lots of discussion about good enough, not good enough. And for a lot of it, it hasn't been good enough. But they've managed to wiggle their way through this without it being a total disaster.
That's exactly it. And yeah, they do have another big road trip coming up. But the teams they play, it starts to slow down, right? So let's just look at, they have the Stars. That's not easy, the next game. But then they don't play again till next Saturday. And then they play the Kraken on the road, come home, play the Wild. Okay, not bad. Kraken again. And then the Jets, who, by the way, just lost Connor Hellebuck for a while. He's going to be out, and they got to find, Eric Comrie takes up the spot. Then the Sabres at home, the Red Wings, the Leafs, who aren't exactly killing it, the Canadians, who are one tonight aren't killing it, Penguins, Bruins, Wild, Flames. So, I mean, I think that this becomes a bit more of a manageable schedule, but that break next week will be massive for this group. I think that'll be really, really important for having a little break here.
Okay, let's dig in on the game a little bit tonight. Jack Roslovic continues to make breaks, continues to take advantage, Struds. Couple of goals for him tonight, and the confidence that this player seems to be handling the puck with, functioning with out there on the ice. I talked to some people from the Columbus Blue Jackets when they came through. And I'm not going to say who, but the comment was, Roslovic looks pretty good. Hey, I was like, yeah, he looks really good. They said, give it 2 weeks. So in other words, the pattern there is he'll have these all-world stretches of time, but then he'll drop off, right? Well, he's right in the middle of an all-world stretch of time here, and the quality of the play isn't dropping off yet.
Offensively, he's really good. Defensively, he still makes me a little bit nervous. So when the heater slows down, what does that look like for him, right? Is able to manage those moments. And but offensively, he's very confident, making plays. I've never seen him play better. Now, I didn't watch him every night like he was in Columbus or Winnipeg or Carolina, but I've never seen him more confident with the puck, making more plays, and just seemingly scoring. Like he's got 9 goals already. That's incredible. I think people are hoping for 15 to 20 now. Just because he has 9 already doesn't mean he's getting to 30, but he's off to a hell of a start. And the Oilers needed this. They really, really, where'd they be without his 9 goals in this lineup?
Oh my goodness. It'd be if they hadn't gotten him, like Savoy's slow offensive start, which is understandable given his experience level. Mangiapane not panning out yet and still struggling to be anywhere near a top 6 forward for this team. And then Ike Howard, clearly needing to be sent back to the American Hockey League. Tomashik not really moving the dial offensively at all. All these ideas the Oilers had to bring in and backfill with guys while they waited for Hyman, even Frederick and his slow start. Like, there's a lot that has not worked in the early going from an offensive standpoint. Roslovic is saving their bacon big time.
Yeah, that's well said. I mean, what's funny is they tried to sign him this summer. He didn't want to come. Yeah. So in the end, my understanding is he actually ended up taking less money to come back here.
Oh, yeah.
But now here he is. He's playing here. And, if he's a smart guy. He's been around long enough to know that he can have a really good year here and set himself up for next summer, whether it's signing here or somewhere else or whatever. But he's been around long enough to know there's opportunity here. When you play with Connor or Leon, you're going to get chances to score, and he is.
Yeah, for sure. They get out to a really quick 1-0 lead. Panthers punch back right away. More coverage issues in front of the net there on that 1-1 goal, I think. Hey, Nurse maybe was the guy there. Yeah,
for sure. Didn't see the back door coming. Yeah. I mean, that's one that it's a cross seam backdoor pass. You got to be able to either take the player or defend that pass, and he didn't do either.
So from there, another quick strike and ends up 2-1 game. Roslovic with his second. Evan Bouchard on both of those goals, I thought made heady plays in the moments leading up to that goal. Struds, it all underpins a 3-point night, big minutes, really solid performance from that top pairing that I think is one of the major storylines for this game, is a top pairing that played pretty damn well.
Really well. Now, you can hear it now. You can say, well, the people don't like Evan Bouchard. Well, he's supposed to do that. Then the people who love Evan Bouchard is like, he can only do that. Like, he's the only guy in the Oilers can make those plays, right? Like, it's just both are screaming out. And those are elite plays, and they're heady plays. And not a lot of guys in the league can make those types of plays from the blue line, keeping it in, making that pass, especially one to Roslovic. So he was excellent tonight, and so was his partner.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox and hear from some of the players. Should you need a new train, furnace, air conditioner, heat pump, hot water tank, or garage heater, Weiss Johnson's now offering 24 months, no interest, equal payments, OAC to make your purchase easier heading into the Christmas season. Their family, helping your family for nearly 50 years. That is a local company right there. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials. Just forgot your back listeners. That's wjjingle.com. Jingle. Road trip's over. We're gonna let it breathe a little. Everybody take a deep breath. Enjoy the jingle. The monstrous road trip has come to an end. We're going second verse here tonight. Executive decision. Jack Roslovic.
I mean, not exactly, what we want, but, it's average in some ways, but the length of it and the strength of schedule of it, it's good to come over to the East and, do what we did.
Did you see enough from your guys' team game to build off of heading home?
Yeah, for sure. Everything, every game there's something to build off of, whether it's learning or, keeping momentum. And this game is a good momentum builder.
Chris Knobloch, what'd you think of your top pairing?
We've been playing really well, and we leaned on him a lot in the previous game in Tampa Bay and played some really hard minutes, especially late in the game, and that back-to-back. And then tonight, same thing. And, started off really well, and they just continued from there. A couple of plays that Bouchard made on the first two goals. The first one to keep the puck in, and then the other one made that nice pass to Rosie. But all night, those two were splendid.
How about your tender?
Played really good tonight, especially in the third period. They had some chances, and you need some saves. And, one-timer off the one side and a couple point-blank semi-breakaways there. We needed him, and he rose to the occasion.
Stu on the third period.
Our job was to push back. It's kind of it's how momentum happens in a game. They had the momentum going into the third. We had momentum going into the second. That's kind of how hockey works. It's a little bit of a roller coaster at times, and we were able to handle it. That's my job. That's everyone's job. And we also got to talk about the PK in the third period, being able to shut them down. Those are huge kills to keep the game where it's at, and then. We get an empty net goal and take it down from there.
And finally, Chris Knobloch, big picture thought on the trip.
The fact that we came out 500, I would say we're, probably we should be pleased. I guess anytime you win your last one, it's nice. But there's some games that got away from us. To go in and say that on this road trip we were going to be 500, we'd say, yeah, that's okay. But I think some of those games, how they slipped away, is maybe a little bitter for us. But overall, I like where our guys are going.
Kayla Weathorn chiming in. I sang the whole Weiss Johnson jingle loud and proud while my boyfriend contemplated his decision to be with me. No chance he leaves you over that. You got good taste, Kayla. Always good taste. Struds, we haven't talked about Connor Clattenburg yet. Let's do that in our storylines, brought to you by Play Alberta. Casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, you can score a $50 free bet when you make a minimum $50 deposit with the code GYB50. That's code GYB50. Start playing with your game sense and find out if you're Alberta's next winner. So Zuby took a long shot today, had 10-1 on Clattenburg scoring a goal. Would have been fun if he did. He had a couple of chances, Struds. Obviously, he didn't get the goal, and we didn't hit on that. But give me a thought on what you expected from Clattenburg tonight and what he had to offer.
I was really excited to see this player in the NHL against NHL players. And you're right. He had a couple of really good chances. Listen, your first couple games, you're just hopped up. You're flying around. You're so excited. Everything you touch, you want to get it to the net. So I would think we have to temper the offensive expectations for this player. But, he had some hits. And what I think was beautiful is at the end of the game, he was not shying away at all from getting into a pile with Greer and a bunch of guys. Like, he's looking for it. And who reminds me of him is Corey Perry. Corey'd be looking for it. He's not shying away from the scrums. He's not shying away from anything in there. Not going to compare him to Corey Perry as far as his point totals, but the intention of getting in there and making it happen. Skated pretty well. You can pick him out from a mile away with that training camp number 64, but I think it was a nice pickup, a nice call up for the team, a pick me up of energy. I don't think he's here all year, but he's here now, and I think he a good first impression for the coaches, teammates, and fans.
You know what I thought the best sign was the way he skated. Because he's going to be intense. He's going to finish checks. He's going to get in on those scrums. That's just the way the player is wired. There was no question for me in any of that. And I remember him from training camp and exhibition being a good skater. But Struds, I actually feel like it's, for a guy his size that has his energy level and tenacity, it's actually a strength. To me, he showed the kind of feet that he's going to need to get there to be physical when he's a regular in the NHL. I think his skating tonight showed that as the rest of his skills come around, he's got the requisite speed to be able to make impact physically in games. That's what I saw from his speed and the way he skated out there at full stride. You?
Yeah, I like that. He does skate well. There's also his board play wasn't that bad. Like let me rephrase that. It wasn't super immature for a young player. That's a better way of saying it. There was one that rimmed around to him. He was on his backhand. He got and tapped it to the middle. Like, that's an elite play. And I mean that. Like, and I like that. I find it sexy. Board play is really sexy. Get it off the wall. You get it up. He does a really good job with that. Or did a good job with that tonight. I think that he's is only going to get better skill-wise and decision-making. But like I said, man, that's a great start. A great first game.
Yeah.
And I think that whether he's here for another handful of games or go home tonight, whatever, I think there's something to build on. I expect the coaches be very specific with what they need him to work on.
This is where player development really matters. Hey, so
huge,
different organizations invest in different ways in their player development and have their players on different programs and such. But if you want to find value, if you want to have players that can contribute and come in and be on your third line or your fourth line, in the first few years of their entry-level deal or, out of the 6th or 7th round, the systems you have in place as an organization to make sure you take a player like Clattenburg, who's got a great base of energy, willingness, gamesmanship, looks to be a decent skater. Now, Struds, it's about helping him get those other pieces in place.
And that happens before and after practice, not during practice in the minors. It is before and after. And that's why, if I was a team, I would have a skills coach 24 hours a day available to my players in the minors, 24 hours a day, and then have that ice. So if you need the ice for an hour and a half, an hour and a half, you book it for 2 and say, XYZ, you guys are going out with Jason Strudwick, the skill coach, to work on these things, because it is before and after. It's not during practice that those fine skills are worked on. It's before and after.
You know who one of the guys doing that this year is, eh? Friend of the pod.
Marshy?
Ryan Marsh. Who came on, joined us for a few segments last year. He's been doing some work with the coaching staff. He's out there most of their practices. I think he, when there's injured players, he stays back and works with them. At times, I think he'll be on the road, but he's part of that skill development, practicing the players, helping them out. And the Oilers, they've built out their player development program a little bit here, and it's going to be interesting to see. The drafting was terrible under Ken Holland. Flat out it was. they're going to need to find some diamonds in the rough here because they've been trading all their best draft capital. They're going to need to find some 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounders. They're going to have to hit on a couple of those over a 4 or 5 year period to round out that roster. And Clattenburg is a great project and a good start for him tonight. All right, Struddy, let's get to our UCAN Youth Services Relentless Player of the Night. It's a charity relentless in creating possibility for local youth. Mental health drives growth and success and is the key to thriving, not just surviving. They have 2 in-house counselors offering free therapy. Their youth have the support they need to navigate struggles and rediscover their strength. Visit ucan.ca to donate today. Got Your Back, a proud monthly donor over at UCAN Youth Services, and we hope you can do the same if you can. Struds, who gets the nod tonight as most relentless of them all?
Well, I was going to go with a team. No, just kidding. But when you look at this whole situation, offensively, Jack Roslovic has been really good. Really good. I think you bang out 9 goals with no training camp, a late signing. Let's give him some credit. He has been relentlessly pursuing offense and has been a massive bright spot for this team offensively.
I like it. You know, he has the ability to hang on to the puck and make plays in traffic. He's got this extra layer of patience that others don't have. I see him in situations and I think, oh, he's going to dump it in, or, oh, he's under pressure there. But he'll just kind of hesitate a little bit, and then he'll just find a little play that wasn't necessarily there. I did not know that patience and vision were going to be as much a part of the package as they seem to be with Roslovic.
There's no doubt about it. And his skating is really good. Like, he's a better skater than I thought. Skates well, hangs on to the puck, can make plays, he's fairly high risk. And I think that is something that he's got to be careful with, because when a little bit of the shine comes off, maybe some of those high risk plays turn into really good chances against. Like there's one time he got the puck at his blue line, tried to skate through and dangle a guy, didn't get it out. It came right back in their end. That is not playoff hockey. That is not acceptable unless you're number 29 or 97. And even for those guys, they limit that in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, fair points. And I think that those are all things, those are all things that guys who have the puck a lot are going to do. And the more he can cut those back, certainly the better. But I would suggest, Struds, that he's putting up enough offense right now that they'll look the other way on a few of those. He's earned a little bit of credit, I think, but you just don't want to see him get sloppy with it, hey?
Yeah, and I think just you're trying to get your game ready for the playoffs. When I keep thinking about he didn't play, he was scratched in Carolina for some playoff games.
Yeah.
Why? What's the reason? Well, I think I'm saying why. Because he's too risky in some areas of the game when you don't need to be.
All right. That was our breakdown brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. When we come back, we'll have takeaways. Rob Brown's going to join us as well. Ask us anything. Make sure you fire in some comments, and Zuby will gather those at the tail end of the show. We will go over some of them and give you a chance to engage in the conversation with us. Throw us a thumbs up if you don't mind. We appreciate you watching. If you're in our live audience, if you've downloaded us, we appreciate you as well. There's lots more ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse. Stick around. Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. All right, time now for takeaways brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos doesn't just hire talent, they invest in their people. How about this? This is a company that is 100% employee owned. So when their people grow, the whole company grows. They're invested in your development. Ready to build something that really matters? Apply now at chandos.com/apply. When are we going to talk about Mangiapane? Somebody in the chat was just asking. Sorry, I lost who it was. Struds, we're keeping an eye on this player. We understand sometimes it takes a little while in a new place, but we said the same thing about Victor Arvidsson for quite a while last year. There it is. Ashfield M, I think. Okay, when do we start talking about Mangiapane? What are you seeing, man? Is there hope for him to pull out of this? Is there more there than what he's showing, or is this about what it's going to be, you think?
Well, yeah, I think if fans are a little bit gun-shy. You look at some of the past free agent signings that have come in and haven't worked. Just haven't worked. Like, honestly, I don't know how else to say it. Like they just haven't worked well. So with him, I keep saying he's got to emotionally connect to the game. And we're starting to see a little bit more. The last couple games, a little bit of scrum here, a little bit of scrum there. And no, he's not Evander Kane. He's not going to be able to, intimidate everyone, then beat them up. But he is going to be able to get emotionally into those games. And I think his game flows a little bit better when he's more emotional. So I think that's a big thing for him. I thought he was good tonight. I think Frederick was again another better game tonight. So you want to get more of those guys on that right side playing the right way more often. I think Bush and Ekholm are off the schneid. You're trying to get these guys going. So there's more to this player, but I think it all starts with emotional play.
The one thing I thought there would be more of night to night was gamesmanship. I thought he would be a guy that was just into it a little bit more. And I'm not talking about fighting or throwing a ton of body checks or whatever, but just a guy that would sense when his team wasn't playing great and go and, I don't know, start a scrum in front of the net or, finish a few checks or be a little agitator or kind of just Corey Perry light in terms of understanding moments. I thought he had more of that in his game, Struds, and I just haven't seen that element. Was I wrong in thinking that I feel like I watched him for years playing against the Oilers and that seemed to be like what he was like.
He did have it. And I think it's washed out of his game. And I think that's part of the problem. Everyone gets going games different. I think Connor McDavid is just wired. He wants to be the best. I'm not suggesting other players in the NHL don't want to be, but he's had a burning desire to be the best. And when I say best, I mean win. He wants to be a winner every single night, every single situation. And that's what drives him. So, other players want to win too, but you've got to find a way to find something to get yourself going. I think Mangiapane almost has to pick a player on the other team where he's like, I'm going to make this guy's night a living hell. I'm going to be in his face. I'm going to be chirping him, getting after him, and just get going emotionally, and that'll get his game going. I don't see that from him right now. It's vanilla.
Do you think a player like that, he comes in and reads the situation on the team. Like the team doesn't really play a whole lot like that. I think they try and be reasonably disciplined, but there's not a lot of that going on in the lineup. Trent Frederick, same thing, came in, and we saw next to none of that from Trent Frederick. So between Mangiapane and Frederick, these two guys that are supposed to give you a little bit of that element, neither of them do out of the gate, Struds. Are they reading the room and the way that this team plays? Is it... do you think it's made crystal clear to them from the powers that be that no, this is absolutely required from you and why you are here, even though this team doesn't really function that way?
Two veteran players, they know it's required. There's no way. And if they don't, they wouldn't have lasted this long, right? You need to know what's required. So why not? Why are they not doing it? Well, if I knew, I'd probably be beside Chris Knobloch on the bench in a tight suit. So I guess the thing would be, if you're not feeling like you're playing your best, what can I do to get myself going and help the team? Right? That's always the case. What can I do tonight to help the team? I think Trent's trying to figure it out. He's starting to get it. Even today he was in a scrum or two at the end. Got into Greer and definitely initiated that one. I like that a lot. And Greer's a guy that's definitely in his weight class. So you got to keep finding a way. And I think for Mangiapane, again, just reviewing the way he plays and how I can help the team. Because he can score. Like, he's had some nice goals, but he needs to bring more. Because if he's not scoring, he's not being that element you're talking about. He's not hitting. You're on the power play, not on the penalty kill. What are you doing out there? What are you bringing to help the team tonight to win?
I like the physical energy from Ty Emberson tonight, from the player that gets hit more than any other player in NHL history, it would seem. He was the hammer more tonight than he normally was. I like that physical aggressiveness from him. I think this player should be nervous about his place in the lineup. I think he should feel like he's actually in a position where he's kind of fighting for his NHL life, because based on this roster and how many D-men they have and the ice time, it's going to be diminishing. He's got guys pushing him. I liked what Emerson put forward tonight, Struds. We're on Kulak watch for quality of play. Emerson has been up and down. And Regula is trying to find it, right? He hasn't played a lot of hockey. He's got the full windshield on tonight. I still think there's something there, even though he's got some Bambi on ice moments. So take me through your thoughts on those three defensemen who we're keeping an eye on in that depth portion of this lineup.
So let's start with Kulak. The penalty he took tonight, I did not like at all. I did not like, and I think they actually they were scored on in that one. I'm pretty sure they got scored on that power play there. I just didn't like that. He's got to recognize that. He's such a good skater. He shouldn't get beat by that type of play where a guy has to skate. He skates around you. Now you have to take a hook on him. So I didn't like that. Regula, he's trying. He's really trying to figure it out. I didn't think tonight was particularly his best game. I thought he was
for sure
some time in his own zone. I thought, and you got to give him time. And listen, they won the game in spite of that, but you got to give him time to find it because there is a player in there. But he's got to start showing it, 50, 60, 70% of the nights that he's got it. Ty Emerson, when he came over from San Jose, one of the scouting reports I got was that he has a physical edge. He started with it. I think that he maybe got away from it a little bit last year and then gone to the playoffs. And the playoffs are a whole nother level of speed. So let's just leave that out. He needs to be dropping the hammer like he did today, being physical, throwing his body around because the Oilers can use that. Right, look on the back end. Who are the physical players back there? Mm-hmm. Fairly short list in the regular season for sure. Playoffs, it's different. He's not a top 5 guy. He's a guy who's in and out of the lineup, so he needs to bring that physicality nightly to make sure that he maintains his spot. I can think of 2 big hits he had, one at the blue line, one on a back check that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, and he was throwing guys around in front of the net a little bit too. And by the way, did he not get into a scrap last year and actually did pretty good? Surprised us a bit. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be the guy to go and look for a fight. I mean, if someone
runs not at all.
David, you're standing there, go and fight him. But you want to be the type of player where you're hitting guys and then they come after you. That's what's got to be the super. Then he can be like, buddy, I don't want to fight. I don't need to fight you. I'm just skating away. I'm going to run you over again. And I don't want to make him out to be Scott Stevens, but he's got to have a physical edge to his game to separate himself from Regula.
Lucas Xna89 says Emerson 4 hits, 4 block shots, defended Clattenburg at the end, taken down Greer, really liked his game. Great point by you, Lucas, and both Struds and I would tend to agree with you. Let's do a deeper dive on the numbers. I forgot to change. Randine hasn't changed the name of the segment yet in the script. Zuby, what did you decide we're calling this thing? What are we doing?
We're crunching the numbers, just like those pickles.
Crunching the numbers. All right. That's funny. Zuby with that executive decision. Somebody has to fill in Randine, let her know that you've made that executive decision. It's actually a better name. It is a better name, and McDonald's deserves the better name. It is brought to you by McDonald's. To the ones who always ask for extra pickles, they've got one for you. The Triple Pickle McCrispy, made with 100% Canadian raised seasoned chicken, topped with shredded lettuce, crispy fried pickles, classy tangy pickles, savory dill pickle sauce, and served on a soft potato bun. Yum. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Struds, courtesy our friends at Sport Logic and the great work that they do. They pull out some numbers from within the game. What did you want to focus on tonight?
Well, I'm always interested in high danger scoring chances. And I see 11-11. In my opinion, you keep that around 12. You're giving your goalie a chance. So I really like that. I like that number. Obviously, you want to have more than 11 if you're the Oilers, but, here we are. On the flip side of that, Florida Panthers kept it to 11 with the Oilers, and I thought Bobrovsky had a really rough night. He was really, really, really bad. And I don't see anyone talking about that in the YouTube chat. That is something, that's a really bad goaltending performance. That wasn't what was going on in front of him. That was going on between him and the posts. He really struggled tonight. So that was a bad goaltending performance by him. Puck-and-Ozo time. Florida obviously spent a lot of time in the Oilers zone, quite a bit more, 50% more. And even the Ozone possession time, that makes a difference in there as well. Always checking too with the
15,
turnovers.
30. So I'm just going to say for people that aren't watching, Struds, 15-30 for Florida, 10-27 for Edmonton.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a pretty big difference. And then
we should point out also, sorry, I should have done this. These are all 5-on-5 numbers as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to make. And then I think one of the challenges Oilers have had is puck management. What do we do with the puck? Are we turning the puck over? Well, they only gave Florida 7 off of that, so you want to keep getting that down. I think that should be around 4 or 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You might know that bit better than Rishaug, but you want to keep it as tight as you can.
Yeah, definitely want to keep it a little below that, but fairly close between the two teams. Those numbers courtesy Sport Logic. That's crunching the numbers from our friends at McDonald's. Okay, we're going to take a break. Brownie is ready to roll. So when we come back, we will have Brownie Points. We'll have a core adjustment, Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything. We'll take a lap. We got lots still ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
This show just got real. Rob Brown checks in. It is time for Brownie Points. Brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers. Get 10 years of built-in confidence at your Alberta Ram dealer. Canada's best full-size truck, limited powertrain warranty. Every new 2026 Ram comes with a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer warranty. 10 years, 160. Check out your Ram dealer today to test drive this fantastic truck. Just absolutely loaded inside and out. Super stylish. Brownie, welcome to the show, my friend. Lay down your brownie points.
Well, here we go. Let's start. I need some brownie points because it's Christmas time coming up. So I'm going to take some away. So I've got some saved up. I'm taking away 765 brownie points. The future Hall I'm taking them from future Hall of Famer Sergei Bobrovsky, who had a very tough night tonight. He was pulled after 4 goals just 26 minutes into the game. He set the tone for the game for the Florida Panthers, having to chase with an absolutely horrendous goal he gave up to Jack Roslovic. He had a 765 save percentage in this game. The Oilers fans were probably wondering, where was this Bobrovsky the last 2 Stanley Cup finals? Because goalie Bob was terrible in this hockey game. I got one huge brownie point to Jack Roslovic. And I'm giving him 1 brownie point because in the last dozen or games and certainly in this 7-game road trip, Jack Roslovic has been the Oilers' best player. He's been their number 1 player. It is scary to think where the Oilers would be if they hadn't signed Jack Roslovic. Without a training camp or any exhibition games, Roslovic is 3rd on the team in goal. He was 2nd until Connor scored into an empty net. Roslovic, another excellent hockey game. I got taking away 2 brownie points from Florida Panther, 2-time Stanley Cup winning coach Paul Maurice, who twice pulled his goalie in the last 3 minutes. I got no problem with the time of game he pulled the goalie, but neither time did his team, the Florida Panthers, have the puck on their stick when he pulled their goalie. You cannot pull your goaltender unless your team has control of the puck. It was the Panthers were playing well. They had an opportunity to tie this game, but whether it was a miscommunication or a poor decision, they allowed the Oilers to score 2 easy empty net goals. I got 2 brownie points to Stuart Skinner, who gave the Oilers their 2nd quality start in a row. Skinner badly outplayed Bobrovsky in this game and was solid the final 40 minutes when the Panthers were the better of the 2 teams. Back-to-back confidence-building games by the 2 goaltenders should give this team confidence as they move forward into a much easier part of the schedule. And finally, I got 10 brownie points to the Oilers' top pairing of Evan Bouchard and Matthias Ekholm, who combined for 6 points and plus 10 in this hockey game, and have started to look more and more like the top pairing that we have seen the last couple of years. And those tonight are my brownie points.
Yeah, really well done, Brownie. You nailed it. Your thoughts on Clattenburg and his, his first game in the NHL, what he looked like?
Well, we didn't see him for long stretches. What I liked about him, and I understand everyone was waiting for Clattenburg to play today. That's all anyone's talking about on social media. He's going to come out. There's going to be havoc. There's going to be chaos. Well, this was a game the Oilers were up in early. He understood the gamemanship where he couldn't go out there and take a penalty. He couldn't go out there and do something silly. He had to wait for his opportunity. 2-goal lead or 3-goal lead late in the hockey game. That was his opportunity to be noticed. He did. He got involved. Good for him. His family's in the stands. Their interview between periods was awesome. Hopefully this is the start of a long career for Clattenburg here in Edmonton. I believe he will be going down soon. But nice for the kid to realize the dream and play in the National Hockey League. And I thought he acquitted himself very well.
What do you think of the signal it sent to everybody in the organization, all of the players, that he's the one that ends up getting the call, Brownie? Because, I mean, not playing a ton down there, but definitely making an impact with gamesmanship and competitiveness. There were other guys that could have probably come up and played a role, even on a third, fourth line, whatever. But I just feel like when you send that signal calling that guy up and reward him, because he has been battling for his teammates for weeks now.
I said it before it happened, so I can't change now. I said they would call him up because of situationally they're losing a fourth line guy, and they needed a fourth line guy to come up play 6 or 7 minutes. Hudson has been very good down there. Having him come up and play 6 minutes is a waste of time. Ike Howard has had a great start down there, 6 points in 3 games. Having him come up and play 6, 7 minutes, a waste of time. So I think this was an opportunity to bring up a guy that plays with energy. I think the fact they were playing Florida, their bottom 6 has been a little quiet and they're badly banged up. I don't know if it sends any message. I just thought this situationally worked the best because you knew he was going to play 5, 6 minutes at best. Why not give this kid an opportunity? Because the other players, it would be a waste just bringing them up there to sit in the bench.
Yeah. Okay, those are Brownie Points brought to you by our Alberta Ram dealers. I want to transition into core adjustments here. The Oilers on their way home just for a short little stretch. They got a game against Dallas, but a few days off, and then one game on the road before a nice homestand. Our core adjustments brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. Visit www.hsecor.com for more information. So Struds, they fly home. They were saying it's a 6-hour flight. They'll get home, take the day off tomorrow, back on the ice Monday. They've got a game on Tuesday against a good Dallas team, and then 3 days before their game on the weekend. So coming off this crazy compacted schedule and this road trip that they have had, really good little opportunity here over the next few days, some practice time to kind of change some things, Struds, or work on some things.
Yeah, so what does that look like? So tomorrow, obviously, Sunday is a day off. I'm guessing Monday will be a practice day. I'd say maybe no morning skate Tuesday, play Tuesday night. And then I would actually, this would probably be pretty radical. I'd probably practice Wednesday, have a good hard practice day, Thursday off, practice Friday, fly to Seattle.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. They need practice. They need to be on the ice in a different situation than battling with an opposition. To go through some things, go through things defensively, go through things backtracking through the neutral zone. I'm sure they've talked about it, but it's different watching video, and Struds knows that, than it is being in practice and actually doing it. But to me, as much as practice is important, to me, rest is going to be the most important thing. Like, they're going to have – tomorrow's a day off, but it's a 6-hour flight home. They're getting back in the middle of the night, back to their houses, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. So their day off is messed up because of their sleep schedule. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the practices are important, but the rest and being around family and friends and getting, they've been gone forever. There's a lot of stuff you have to do when you come home to the house to get organized. So Tuesday's game will be weird, and that's why the first game after a long road trip is always tough, and coaches are worried about it, because when they come home, there will be wives passing them children. I've had these guys for 10 days, 12 days. They're yours. I'm done. And they're going to have to figure out how to get rest, say hi to the family, and still focus on a game in 2 days' time.
Yeah, so let me share why I put the day off on Thursday, because you play Tuesday night, you're going to get up, you practice Wednesday, and let's say you practice at 11 to 12, you're out of there by 1. You don't have to be again for 48 hours to the rink, because you're going to practice, let's say, 10 a.m. on Friday. Then you go to Seattle. So I think that way it gives you 48 hours of a long time off. The guys are coming off a game, get them out there, get a good tempo, work on what you want. Then say, guys, we don't want to see you for 2 days, basically. Then you come back. I've had that happen to me before. It felt like it was a week. It was so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The only thing I'll throw in there real quick, and I don't know this to be the case, kind of taking Knockout Panda's word, but he says West Edmonton Mall signing on the 27th is scheduled. So that is on the Thursday. And then he also says expect the cold and flu to go through the room after that. That's got to be a legit concern. I don't know how many thousand people they roll through there, but there's a lot of exchanging things and shaking hands. And I imagine there's a lot of hand sanitizer and needing to be careful. Do cold and flus ripping through a team often follow these mass autograph sessions, Struds?
I'd get lots of people signing. It was crazy. You can imagine how many thousands of people rolled through my line. I don't remember. Maybe it did. There's a lot of hand sanitizer rolling around. I don't think you can actually touch each other. I don't think there's any touching, if I remember. It's not like a two-way petting zoo, right? So I think it's just autograph.
What's a two-way petting zoo? What is a two-way petting zoo? The animals do not pet back ever.
Oh yeah, that's what they're like. It's like the guy's signing. You're like an animal in a cage, and people are coming by, and you're signing. They want to hug you and touch you. And I get it, but you're not touching them back. So, anyways, let's not get bogged down in the two-way petting zoo. I don't think there'd be a lot of touching in that moment.
Knockout Panda says, was Struds petting some fans? Was that? You knew you weren't supposed to do that, right? You were doing it wrong, buddy.
Well, when you only have 10 people come in 3 hours, you'll do whatever you want. You want me to paint your living room?
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Brownie, before we move on to Struddy's World here, just maybe a big picture thought from you on this road trip. What you thought a reasonable result would be, if at the tail end of it here, the fact that their game's in a better place, how meaningful that is. What do you think about the whole thing, man? 7 points out of a possible 14.
Well, it's funny. At times in this road trip, media, social media, it was like the sky was falling. It really was. It was this goalies getting called out, defensemen getting called out, lack of we need Clattenburg. We need this 20-year-old here because the team plays with no passion. Yet when it was all said and done, this incredibly grueling road trip where you were losing 4 or 5 players over the course of it turns out to be a 500 road trip. And that's what you always shoot for. 500 or better is what you want, and they got that. I think what I like about the Oilers right now, there's still mistakes. The last 2 games against Florida and Tampa, they played 2 teams who were badly injured. Yeah, like Florida tonight, missing 8 regulars. And in the second half of both of those games, Tampa and Florida were markedly better. They were the better teams. But the Oilers had a desperation in their game. They had an emotional involvement in the game. And I think, to me, is the biggest thing right now going forward. They were flat in the first 15, 16, 17 games of this season. They had a pulse where there was, great example, Connor McDavid coming back and knocking that guy off the puck just before he shot into an empty net. Earlier in the season, there wasn't that kind of passion for the defensive part of the game. So I think of all the things that happened on this road trip, the Edmonton Oilers found their passion, and I think that is what will be able to carry them forward in these baby steps to get back to where they want to be. There's now an emotional involvement in the hockey game, and that's what you need if you want to start winning games.
Great point, Brownie. Okay, before we get to Struddy's World, I'm going to have you two take care of our Take a Lap segment. I got to go and fill up the water jug here, so I'm going to let you two talk a little hockey outside of Edmonton. It's brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, family-owned and operated, serving Edmonton and area for over 55 years. They feature top brands like Yamaha, Suzuki, Polaris, Husqvarna, and Gas, delivering the best selection in Alberta. A massive inventory of parts and accessories, recognized as the #1 KTM dealership in the country. Check them out at www.riversidemotorsports.com or stop in just off St. Albert Trail in their store. I'll be right back. Struddy, take a few laps with Brownie.
You got it, buddy. All right. Must have been a tough workout on the elliptical today for a shogger. Let's start. This is an interesting thing, Brownie, that we're talking about here is the waivers for unconditional release and contract termination. And there's another player now, Alex Texier, who this is happening to. St. Louis Blues, decent young player, but it's not working out there. So they're going to terminate him waive him for purpose of contract termination. And we've seen this before. And I wonder, with David Kampf, they're leaving some money on the table here, but I guess these guys really just want to play somewhere else. And there's reports that Montreal would be interested, as with Ottawa Senators. So interesting times to see that happening, Brownie, where I don't remember being this many where a guy would be terminated. Sometimes they go to Europe. Rarely would they come back and sign in the NHL.
Yeah, I agree. And to give up money, it's one thing for a player that's banked 40, 50, 60, $70 million to, okay, you know what, buy me out. I'm not going to the minors. I'm too good to the minors, and I got enough money in my bank account. I don't need it. But for players that aren't of that nature, to say, you know what, I'm betting on myself. I'm betting that if I leave this organization, I am good enough that I'm going to get another contract that is going to be bigger than the money I'm leaving on the table. So I give them credit. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I have the self-confidence to leave money on the table, but I give these guys credit, saying they're betting on themselves that when they get their opportunity, they will prove that they are NHL hockey players.
And they're doing the teams a favor. Getting away from those contracts is so huge for them. So I wonder if it's something we continue to see, or if this is just kind of a bit of a freak. And then we'll finish up with two injuries. Jake McCabe left the Toronto Maple Leafs game. They already have some pretty significant injuries all over their lineup. In net, Austin Matthews, some other players that are really important to them. And then the Cooch also left the Tampa Bay Lightning game. Both of them, I think, are upper body injuries. So something to monitor. I hadn't seen an update since we jumped on here post-game, but those are pretty significant players for both those teams if they are indeed out.
Well, the one thing we've seen this year, and again, we talked about it earlier in one of our podcasts, that with the compact schedule and all of this traveling and little time off between games, when guys are tired, when they're fatigued and they're not getting their proper rest, there's more injuries. And it's proven. When you're tired, you're more apt to get yourself in harm's way. And we've seen all around the league. Harley's out right now for the Dallas Stars, one of Canada's better defensemen for the Olympic team. So there's a ton of players. You're going to continue to see that because the players aren't getting enough rest between games. And if you look at Toronto's situation, this is a team that's going to struggle this year possibly to make the playoffs with the injuries they've had, with the goaltending struggling that it has. They've already lost Canada. Now McCabe's out. They had to come and get Troy Stetcher because they were so badly beat up. Yeah, these injuries are starting to mount around the National Hockey League. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously Kucherov's one of the best in the world. So I think Struds, look at the last two nights, last two games, Tampa and Florida. I think combined they had like 14 players out of the lineup, those two teams. It is a plague right now in the National Hockey League that you hope you somehow can skip over, but injuries will be more and more prevalent because the players in the the way the season is set up, the schedule is set up, the players aren't going to get enough rest, and I think this is going to be a problem all the way through the rest of the regular season.
All right. Nice job, gents. Anything else, Struds? Are you good? You're muted. Muted. Struds, we didn't hear any of that. You were muted for that entire thing. That was... Hello? 1, 2, Struds? Oh, he gone.
Yeah,
well, we better get him back. It's time for Struddy's World. What's going on with the big guy there, Zoobs?
Do you want me to just... All right, we got some action here. You wouldn't know this, Brownie, but Rishaug just left us as well as we were laughing and making
just
fun.
you and I now.
Yeah. Oh, here we got Struddy. This is the Brownie and Zoobs.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we got you back. Rishaug, while he was laughing at you, also disconnected from the show.
Yeah, so no, I wasn't muted. You guys just couldn't hear me. Then I got booted. But anyways, as I was saying, I've never last year did I talk this much about injuries, and I didn't even mention Connor Hellebuck getting surgery. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. So, I mean, there are a lot of players out. Although I saw a stat, this isn't the highest total of man game losses up to this point. I think I want to say 2 or 3 years ago it was more, but here we are. Some big significant players out.
We back now? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You got me?
Gotcha, buddy.
Back.
Was that a little panic for you there, Zuby? What happened? You lost both Struds tonight.
I don't know. But no, I didn't panic. I had a glass of wine earlier, so.
He's good in a pinch. Always so technically sound. All right, time for Struddy's World. Roll the animation, buddy.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Chief Andy chiming in. Besides Brownie Points and Rishaug spitting facts every stream, my favorite part of the podcast is Struddy's World. It's like Bill Burr meets the NHL. Easy, Chief Andy. Back that up just a little. You don't need the big guy's head getting any bigger. It is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products, offering premium materials for fences and decks designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, fading, or deteriorating. Whether you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle it yourself, they have the resources and expertise to help. Canadian owned and operated, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. Check them out online at dlrvinylproducts.ca. Those are my brothers, Rick and Rob. dlrvinylproducts.ca. Mr. Burr, be funny.
Yeah, is he also good looking? I don't know who he is. So
you got him beat there by a lot, Struddy.
Okay, I'll check him out. No, just kidding. So anyways, I coach my boys in hockey, or assistant coach them and help out. And I love minor hockey. I love being in the NHL, but I love minor hockey. I like being in the rooms. I especially like being in the rooms after a win. My younger son's team, they're all they're all 12-year-olds. So one of our coaches, when his youngest son, who's I think 7 or 8, comes to the game, he's allowed to come in and hand out an MVP. And what he does is he'll be walking around the rink and just find something. So he'll find a little candy, or he'll find like a piece of a trophy or something. He'll just walk in and the coach will be talking. He'll just walk in, like, time for the MVP. Then he starts handing out this MVP, and he'll just randomly pick someone who, whether they deserved it or not, they get it. And the kids in the room look forward to it. And I think I'm the one that looks most forward to it. So today we won our game, and Kieran comes in and I see he has a puck. So our coach is talking, and he just walks, and the other coach is like, okay, it's time for MVP. And in walks Kieran, and he's like, number 88, our goalie. And so like everyone's just going crazy because the goalie had a shutout. So he gets the puck, and then our other coach resumes talking, like, hey guys, this is what's happening. He's like, and number 34. And he turns over right in the middle of the coach's speech and gives another puck to another kid. Now, this was unprecedented. We've never had 2 MVPs in the same game, and it was amazing. But the whole room was dying because our head coach is trying to give the kids the talk down, and this guy's handing out MVP pucks like Brownie hands out full-size chocolate bars at Halloween. So, minor minor hockey or any minor sport is the best, especially when the little siblings get involved. They're so funny. So shout out to my man Kieran today for handing out the double MVP in a game, a regular season game on a Saturday in November.
Love it, Kieran.
He was so funny.
But you know what's funny about that? You start thinking about it, Struds, and you start going back to when you think of your kids playing minor hockey or when you played minor hockey. It was never the game that you remember. It's moments like that you remember. Those kids, when they're telling stories, when they're sitting around in a bar, when they're 27, 28, they will talk about, you should have seen the coach was talking once, and his little brother came in. That's what you remember. I think that's important. So good on them.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so great. And it's any sport. If you can get your kid in any sport and you can help coach, do it. Yeah, it can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but 95% of the time it's amazing. And today was I enjoyed it so much to see that today from that. I'll never forget that. Number 34. Like he's so excited. Like he was one of the cons fight.
JL says if Struddy can give Relentless out to a group of players, you can hand out multiple MVPs. So JL in favor of Kieran bending the rules to his whims. That was Struddy's World, funny. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Brownie, before we let you go, we need the full review. Everybody has been asking, how was the play? You must be such a proud papa.
I am. It was incredible. It was so much fun. It was a sold out crowd. It's interactive, so they get the crowd going. My son was awesome. Everyone in the play was amazing. It was, if you're in Vancouver, they're running until I think they just extended to January 14th, 8 shows a week. They're almost all completely sold out, but it's called East Van Panto West Side Story. It is hilarious. The music is fantastic. And say hi to my boy, please. It was awesome. I was in tears. I was laughing. And then I got a great big hug from a kid afterwards. So it was a wonderful, wonderful 24 hours.
Oh, man. How happy is he? How happy is he, Brownie, with this opportunity?
This would be as big as it can get in Vancouver right now if you're a theater actor.
Wow.
And he's surrounded by people that he used to watch in theater, and he's in the show with them. So he's pretty proud of it, and the show is fantastic. They cast them, and then they write the music and everything for them after they cast them to see what kind of voice they have. So like his voice was spot on because the music director found the right songs for him to sing. Everyone in the show was excellent. It was one of my favorite plays I've ever seen, and I'm like Struds. Struds and I go to lots of theater. Everything that comes through Edmonton. This is top class. So if you're out in Vancouver, try and hit it up because it is that good.
There's Northern Farm Girl Struddy saying, had a friend that bought tickets to go see your son. We'll touch base with them. This is huge for him. Yoshi says, Brownie is joyful. Yes, he is. The sounds of a proud papa. Chief Andy says, wow, 8 shows a week in Van. Congrats to the boy, Brownie. We're happy for you and for him and the family, Brownie. Thanks for doing this, buddy. We'll chat in a few days.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
You know what, Sugar, and I just quickly, Brownie didn't want to say because he's such a kind guy, but I'll say it. Said if you do go to the ticket to watch the show, go out for dinner before, get yourself a nice dinner, and Brownie will pay for it. Just send him the bill, so. Brownie's he's too, you know how he is. He's too kind to say it. You don't want to sound so cocky, so I'll say it for him. So have a great meal. Like tip well too. Drink a lot. Go have a good time.
All
there.
on him.
Send
is he taking care of flights? Is he taking care of flights out there too for people?
I don't think full flights. We talked. I think there was some discussion about a discount. He'd do 20, 30, 40, 50% depending on the rate.
Just DM,
we got
DM the Got Your Back Twitter and I'll send you Brownie's credit card, everybody.
Yeah. All right, Ask Us Anything is coming up next here on Got Your Back, presented by Timber Hoss. Throw us a thumbs up in the break.
So at Timber Hoss, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? Maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
All right, time now for our scoreboard, brought to you by The Bridge Fit. They want to remind you most private health benefits reset at the end of the year. So if you've been putting off the treatment that you need, it's a great time to book and make the most of your coverage before it renews in 2026. Year-end availability is filling up across all locations, so do not wait. They've got clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, and soon in St. Albert as well under construction. Bridge provides accessible team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. Early start for the Oilers, I know, so a lot of games not wrapped up, but what can you tell us that matters at this point?
Buddy, lots of games tonight. 12 games, 24 teams in action. So let's just talk about a couple that make a difference. The Avs win 3-0 over the Predators tonight. 2 empty net goals at the end. So it was a close game till the end. The Preds did outshoot the Avalanche, but they lose 3-0. The Lightning beat the Caps 5-3. Again, Kucherov left that game. Not sure where that stands as far as injury. The Kraken in OT beat the Penguins 3-2. The Oilers will see them pretty soon for a couple of quick games. The Blues beat the Islanders. That's a pretty good one. Braden Shen gets his 3rd of the year. Pius Suter 6, and Anders Lee the 4th goal of the year for him there with the Islanders. And then this is a big one. Really good game, actually, if you're a if you're a Canadiens fan. 5-2. The Canadiens beat the Leafs. Both teams have been struggling. Jackai, the younger one, Florian, gets into a fight. It was a pretty good game all around for the Habs. And then finally, we're 3-2. The Ducks are losing to the Golden Knights halfway through the game.
That Leafs game got a little punchy, eh? I saw some dust-ups at the end and got a little rough.
Yeah, I was trying to watch both. One on the computer, one on, obviously Oilers on TV. So that Leafs team, man, they're struggling. They have a lot of injuries, but they are struggling big time. Second last in the Eastern Conference.
All right, Zuby, why don't you hop in, buddy, and help us wrap up our DeBoer's Golf Shop in Fitting Center YouTube poll. That was a scoreboard, by the way, brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. Where did everyone land on the road trip, Zuby? I feel like everybody was probably in a decent mood after a win, so I feel like it was a reasoned response.
Yeah, right after we were talking about it, actually, we're thinking about that 4th response. Someone on the stream, Pers97, came in and said, encouraging finish to the road trip. And I thought actually that was important, talking about what we saw in these last 2 games. So I did add that. The question was, which best describes your overall feelings about the road trip? And guess what? Encouraged, by the way they finished, ended up taking it. 43% of the vote. 500, I'll take it, came in second at 35%. Simply not good enough, 12%, still feeling that way. And happy given the schedule, 10%. So yeah, pretty measured, but it sounds like mostly, positive overall with what we've seen here.
Their play definitely improved towards the back portion of that road trip. Their competitive energy, their gamesmanship, their spirit, playing for one another, upticks across the board, and they're coming home feeling better than had they dropped this game tonight. Let's get to Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. It was founded in 1976. They are a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. What are the people saying, Zoobs?
Couple of comments here about Jack Roslovic. Knockout Panda said, Roslovic misses camp and plays well. Is that something? I'd like to just put that together with Marsboy, who said, I'd like to think Jack's first 7 games will be his slump for this season. He had no camp. He wasn't very noticeable for that first little bit, and now just a massive uptick. They got to be feeling pretty good about this player. We can even tie this together. Somebody else, Hockey Hooligan, wanted to know, What kind of term and money would you give to Jack Roslovic? People want to talk about that now too. So what do you think of this player missing camp, turning it up here at this stage? And do you think the team is going to be wanting to talk extension soon, Struddy?
Oh man, that's yeah. I mean, he's played well. So let's talk about the easy part first, the no camp. I think that he recognized that he needs to have a good season. So I think he was probably skating hard. He was in shape, and he came in guns ablaze and ready to go. And he's been given a good opportunity. But to be fair, he's also delivered. So that's a really good spot for both him and the team to be in. As far as extension, it just really depends what you're looking for. I still think they need some size in their top six on the wings. If it's Mangiapane, Roslovic, Nuge, and Hyman, let's just say that's what it is heading to the playoffs. I don't think that's big enough on the wings. So are you going to sign Roslovic without knowing what could fall in your lap later on in the trade deadline and or in the summer? I think you might wait on this one just to see what else is out there. And that's no disrespect to Roslovic, but I'm probably looking for a bigger winger, Schauger, on the wings.
Yeah, you got him for nothing. You got him for money. I just wait and see. The knock against him was his playoff performance as well. You need to see what you get from him in the playoffs too, right? And if he ends up knocking it out of the park this year and then knocking it out of the park in the playoffs and someone else wants to give him a monster deal, he served his purpose for a year, was clutch for the Oilers, and if that's all it ends up being, he didn't cost you any picks. He was found money, so I wouldn't be rushing anything long-term with this player.
JL wants to know, Schauger first, any thoughts on Pierre LeBrun's comments stating that management wants to wait at least 30 games to address what's needed? JL adds, isn't goaltending already obvious? What do you make of these comments that LeBrun reported today?
Well, people aren't going to like it, but it makes sense. So if you're Stan Bowman, you're looking at this team and you're going, okay, bunch of defensemen that aren't playing very well to start the year, and the team defensively not playing very well, really disjointed. Then you've got this crazy schedule where you're on the road constantly. Then on top of that, you've got some key injuries to players as well. So, people pay lots of money for their tickets, and it's their right to panic if they want, 100%. It's Stan Bowman gets paid a lot of money not to panic. So he probably doesn't know what he has yet. And a smart general manager will ignore the noise. He'll use the time that he has and get the full picture. Stan Bowman probably doesn't feel like he has the full picture right now and won't until after 30 games when they get some guys back, some more home games on the schedule, the team settles in defensively and gets out of this funk that they always start in. No big decisions until then. I've been saying that for a little while now. People don't love it, but I think it's smart, common sense GMing. Struds, you?
100%. I've been saying that for a while. Until you see what your team does in front of you, the goalies, you're not going to address the goalie at all. You want to see how everything fits together when it all comes back. They have some pretty decent sized injuries right now and guys who have really not been playing well. So be patient. And what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be more or less expensive right now to price someone out of a team who thinks they still have a playoff spot, right? I think you got to be patient. And I know people don't want to hear that, but this team has done this before. They never do anything the easy way. This group of players, they never go the easy way. So they'll probably come home, stumble a bit, then they'll get going on the road, go okay, then stumble. Then December, like, okay, we got to get going. They'll get going.
All right, Schmaps with an interesting statement here. He says Podkolzin is emerging as a low-key leader out there. We know he's a quiet guy, and part of that's the language barrier. But do you think the way he plays his game and the way he's playing right now, Struddy, rubs off on some of the other guys, gets them going to want to deliver the same way?
Yeah, I mean, a leader, I'm not in that room, so I don't know if he's talking at all, but I think when you look at how he prepares, how he works, he's the same every shift. And I think Chris Knobloch had some of those comments today. Like he is just good all the time. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's just really just good all the time. And that's what you want from kind of a middle six winger. And he uses that. A 4th round pick for him, that has been a steal for the Oilers. Absolute steal.
Yeah, and leader by example. Like, his English is actually really good this year. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's speaking way better than when he first even arrived to Edmonton. So that there's been improvement there, which probably helps integrate him a little bit into the room. But I just think the consistency that he competes with, you're naturally going to gain respect from your teammates. And yeah, he can lead through his play now. I think people take him seriously. They see how much time he spends with Leon. They know, the players in that room know Leon wants to play with that player, and that matters too. So yeah, I would say low-key leader isn't that out of reach, just strictly by example. Never mind what might be going on in the room that we don't know.
Lucas 89 pointing out, this came in a little bit earlier. Isaac Howard has an assist in tonight's game in Bakersfield, first intermission. At the time, 7 points in 3 games and 1 period. We know they want him to learn all parts of the game, but this has got to be a good scenario that he's contributing so much on the scoreboard since going down there, Schauger.
Let it bake. Let it bake. Just let him stay there. Let him pile up the points. No reason to go grab him anytime soon. Just let it bake, Struds. I want to see a month and a half of performance from this player at the professional level. Learn consistency. Just let it bake, man.
100%. And it's not the play with the puck, although he's got to learn the tempo for sure. But just his play away from the puck, right? How to get open, how to defend, right angles to take on forechecks, like all that kind of stuff. Those are the things that the casual fan's not going to notice, but his coaching staff here will. So I think your month and a half is, I'm not looking until the new year at the earliest, just let him go. And just Oilers fans, forget you even have him. Because when you bring him up, you want him to be a different player than when he went down. And they failed with Puljujärvi in that. And I don't think they can afford to do that with this player.
Okay, last 2 here. Frankie Tanky says, are the Oilers' 2 worst road trips of the year already over by game 24? The year gets insanely easier now. Not a great start, but this team will go on a tear now. Let's follow that up with this one from Ashfield. Question for the pros. How many beer are you crushing on the flight home after that win? What's it like? What do you think of these road trips being out of the way? What's the mood of the team, Struddy, and how many beer are you crushing on the flight?
You know what, man? I spent a lot of different eras of my life in the NHL, single, girlfriend, married. And I got to tell you, on a long trip home after, I spent all that time sleeping. I was like, you're just tired. You're so tired. You just want to get home to your own bed. You don't want to get there, drunk or hungover, nothing. You just want to get home and go to bed. And I can tell you, the idea of spending the night in Florida and then flying all the way home would be a nightmare. Just put me on this plane, wrap me up like a little baby in some swaddling, give me a bottle, and I'm out. And I'll just sleep all the way home. I tell you, like whether I was 23, 30, or 33, for whatever age I finished, I was sleeping. I had nothing going on.
Love it.
Okay, that's good. I think we'll close up the mailbag.
Wrap with that?
We're good. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
We didn't have Blommer here to give us any 80s movie nonsense for me to get excited about and throw in as the kicker, as they say. So we'll just close up the mailbag.
No worries, buddy. All good. Great job, Zuby, as always, and thanks to all of you for your contributions for our Ask Us Anything segment. We'll wrap with our mainline water and sewer play of the day. Your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacements and expert water line replacement and repair. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. They have a trenchless method that is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with backflow protection. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. What do we got today, Struddy?
Intermission interview, Gene Principe with the Clattenburg family. It was great to see the dad getting emotional. He put a lot of time in, right, with that. That the highlight was the sister. And Gene said, what was it like growing up with this as your little brother? This guy, Connor's your little brother. She's like, he was a pain in my ass. And apparently everybody else is as well. I love that. It was so great. So yeah, congrats to him on his first game. Hope it's another 999 more. But just an awesome interview and a good debut for him and his family on the show.
Really cool moment. What a month and a half, 2 months it's been for him coming in and getting that camp, getting attention the way he did, scrapping it out the minors, and then getting his look at the big show tonight. Really cool moment for the family, and great that they were able to be there. Good show tonight, Struds. Thanks, my friend. Let's chat in a couple of days, shall we?
Love it, boys. Talk to you then.
Zuby, great job, my man.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. When are we doing it again? Monday?
I don't know. Or Tuesday night.
Oh, it's a light week for games next week, right?
It's a light week, I think. Well, I don't know. You know what? Let's talk off air. We're one short this month, so maybe we should fire in an extra one, but we'll talk about that off air. Thanks everybody for joining us, and a big thanks to all of our sponsors, amazing partners we have on this show. We really appreciate them all. They are the lifeblood, and they're the ones that make it possible for us to do this show. So thank you to all of them, including our title sponsor, Timber Haas. Talk to you all in a few days. See ya.